Hey guys, so yeah, I had big plans for this review, but nothing went to plan. So here I am, back in the studio, just chatting to you about it. Now, a bit of backstory. I went out to Slovakia to do some shooting, and we took the Mavic Air with us. I wanted to test out the Polar Pro Standard Series filters that we've bought and do some shooting out there because you generally get some nice sunsets. It's very stable weather conditions. There's kind of mountainy areas, nice valleys and hills, and it's just very pretty. So we booked a couple of nights in a hotel called the Polar Hotel, which is my whole tie-in to the whole Polar Pro thing. It was up in the High Tatra Mountains, and we went a couple of days hiking up there. And as soon as we got to the hotel, the cloud descended and we were literally inside a cloud for 2 straight days. There was zero visibility. It couldn't take the drone up. It was an absolute nightmare. So I couldn't do my whole review from up there, and it just kind of killed the whole thing. So I'm quite annoyed about that. But I want to tell you about these filters because they are fantastic. I know it's easy when you're looking at filters to just say, oh, Polar Pro, they've got the best marketing, I'd better buy them because all the people on YouTube are telling me to buy them. But honestly, they're great and they're not that much money. I mean, for the Mavic Air filters that I bought, they're I think £30 I managed to get them for a set of 3 filters. That's an ND4, an ND8 and an ND16. So Polar Pro filters, you always get them in this really nice kind of hard case here. I'll try and show it to the camera there. So this is like a magnet closing box, and it's got, am I opening that right? Yes, they're quite strong magnets. So you get nice kind of foamy inserts with the filters in, I'll show you there, and bits of kind of cut out there so you can actually get them out and then put them back in again. Now these things are the size of the Mavic Air camera, obviously, so they are absolutely tiny. There's enough bezel on there so you can handle them without sticking your fingerprints all over the glass, which is a bit kind of annoying when you do that because then you've got to carry a cloth around with you. They do provide a polishing cloth, but I don't know what I've done with it. So ND4, ND8, ND16 covers me for pretty much every flying situation. ND4 I tend to use in low light situations like just at sunrise and just after sunset, when I just need a tiny bit of light reduction to get my shutter speed correct. ND8 I use for general flying, general filming conditions, and it suits me most of the time. And the ND16 is if I'm shooting in the middle of the day in bright sun, I usually need an ND16, usually need that extra bit of light reduction just to kind of cut out the harsh midday sun. I don't really like shooting in the middle of the day because there are hardly any kind of nice shadows, there's hardly any nice light. I tend to wait until kind of the end of the day, if anything, sometimes the beginning of the day if I'm in the situation where I can shoot kind of at just after sunrise when the colours are nice, but generally I wait until about an hour before sunset and then I go out and shoot, because then I get the most interesting shadows, the most interesting light and the best colours to play around with, and it just looks super cool. So yeah, the ND16 and the ND4 are there in case you need them, but in general, if you've not used NDs before, I'd recommend just using an ND8 most of the time, and that'll get your shutter speeds down to a sensible rate, so you can get that cinematic motion blur and you can stop that choppy effect. Now, this has been with me on quite a few trips now. Like I said, I went to Slovakia, took this with us. We then went to Austria and we did that, and I couldn't fly there either because we were too close to Vienna airport. So yeah, that trip kind of wiped me out with the Polar Pros. I did manage to get some footage earlier that week when we were out in a town called Brusno. So I'll stick some footage up at the end of this. Not really a review, it's a bit of a chat about these, to be honest. Just so you can see the kind of look and the lack of colour cast, which I think is really important. Yeah, I've used quite a few filters before and they've got either weird red or weird green casts on them, which not great. But the Polar Pros always seems to be pretty neutral. Now I've got a set of these for the Mavic Air, these ones. I've got a set of these for the Osmo Pocket, which attach with little magnets, and I've now got a set for the Mavic 2 Pro as well. And they all seem to be really kind of consistently neutral. I'm really impressed with them. And they're two different series. These are the standard series, and I've got the Cinema series for the other two, and they're all pretty consistent. Would I buy the Cinema series over the standard series? Probably not. They're filters. They're designed to kind of cut the light out, and whether they're polarized, whether they're non-polarized, whether they're kind of circular polarized or linear polarized, they're all going to do the same job. They're all just designed to get your shutter speed down, so I wouldn't fall for the hype really, and I'd just get the bog standard series if you can find them. I mean, for the Mavic 2, they don't seem to do them, and I got a deal on the Osmo Pocket ones, the Vivid series, for the same price as the standard, so that's why I got those. Otherwise, save yourself a few pennies, get yourself the standard series. They're absolutely great. If you're a Mavic Air pilot, if you've got the Mavic Mini, then absolutely get these. They come in a tiny, tiny package. You can put that in any pocket on the Flymore bags or your camera bag, or if you're just going out with it in your pocket, you can just stick that in your back pocket and you don't even notice it. Just don't sit on it. So I'd really recommend the Polar Pro filters. I really didn't want to go for them because everybody says go for Polar Pro filters, but it is for a reason, and yeah, I'm willing to kind of succumb to the peer pressure on this one and say that yeah, Polar Pros are the best filters I've used for DJI drones, and I'm not trying to sell them to you at all. I mean, get whatever you want, but I really like these. Look at the footage, make up your own mind, and let me know in the comments what you think. And yeah, that's it. I've got a few more drone videos coming up. I've been playing around with the Mavic 2 and comparing it to the Mavic Air, so if you're interested in that, then hit subscribe, really appreciate it, and I'll see you next time. See you later, guys.